So I tried the Creative Outlier Air V2 when it came out, and even though it was improved over the V1, there were still certain things that I wanted changed. Well, the V3 is out now, and has Creative listened? Hey guys, we have the Creative Outlier Air V3 with us today, and if you're on the lookout for a pair of affordable earbuds that still sound good, these should definitely be on your list to try, because at 89 Singapore dollars or around 70 US, they're really super affordable. Before we get into the review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. So, let's talk design first. The case is pretty much unchanged from the V2, aside from the new silver green color that's quite nice. The case is slightly heavier than the V2's though, by a few grams, but the earbuds are also slightly lighter, so I guess it all balances out. On the bottom of the case, there's a plastic strip for wireless charging, which is a feature that I actually didn't expect to see at this price point. The addition of wireless charging also gets, well, it doesn't exactly get rid of it, but it kind of solves one of the biggest pain points that I had with the V2, and that is the fact that the USB-C charging port is on this side of the case, which is also the side that slides out. So if you can see where I'm going with this, whenever you plug in a cable to charge the case, and then you plug the cable out, it would actually pull this entire part out, which, I mean, obviously you don't want that to happen, right? So thankfully, with wireless charging, I actually haven't had to plug a cable into this case ever since I got it, so kind of a workaround, but a good one nonetheless. As for the earbuds, they've got that same green color to them. It's interesting how Creative has actually gone with different colors for all of their Outlier Air generations. The previous one was blue, and I actually quite like that, but the green also works really well. There's a circle around the touch control pad on the earbuds that lights up red when you take them out of or put them into the case. The exterior is pretty much all plastic, but I do like how it looks. The green with a sort of metallic sheen to it is pretty nice. The earbuds also fit in the ear quite snugly, and they're not too bulky or heavy, so they can be worn for a pretty long amount of time. But the real reason, or one of the real reasons why you'll want to get these, is actually because of the features. More specifically, the ability to experience Creative Super X5 technology at this price point. The problem with these though is that because of the low price point, you can only activate Super X5 with music or with content that you have stored on your phone. In this day and age of music streaming, that's really not very convenient. In fact, because I'm mostly on Tidal and Apple Music now, it took a bit of time for me to dig up my old FLAC files from another computer just to transfer them to one of my Android phones. And yeah, just a little bit inconvenient. You have to download the Super X5 app to get a personalized head map or scan of your ears, software updates, and to access the EQ feature, but that's it. You actually don't get touch control customization in the Super X5 app. You have to download the Creative app for that. It's a bit mind-boggling as to why these features need to be divided into two separate apps, but yeah. Speaking of controls, Creative is sticking with touch controls on these. Here's a very handy chart by Creative to show the default touch controls so I don't have to read them all out as usual. Thanks for making my job that much easier. The only thing to really take note of is that there's no single tap and that there's no track skip backwards by default. It's easily changed in the app though, so yeah. Some people had connectivity issues with the V2, and I would say that Creative has pretty much fixed that in this version with Bluetooth 5.2 connectivity. I can say that I actually didn't notice any connection issues or stutter with these earbuds, but I am a bit confused why there's only SBC and AAC support, and aptX is actually removed from the previous version. Battery life is actually really good. Creative claims 10 hours in the earbuds with an extra 3 charges in the case for a total of 40 hours. These are rated IPX5, which is actually pretty consistent across all of Creative's Outlier earbuds. And I would say that they're actually quite decent for exercise because of how lightweight and snugly they fit in the ear. Now, there's no ANC here, but there is active noise reduction. Honestly, it didn't do all that much for me. Perhaps there was slightly less rumble and such, but don't expect it to work wonders. There's also an ambient mode for if you need to hear your surroundings. When noise reduction was on though, I noticed something quite odd. Public transport like buses tend to have these sort of like vibrations, right? And when the vibration was particularly strong, I noticed the earbuds started introducing noise into the music, almost as if the driver itself in the earbud was vibrating along and kind of causing that sort of background noise to be introduced. But that noise actually disappeared once I turned noise reduction off. So I am pretty sure that it has something to do with the noise reduction in the earbuds and not the actual earbuds itself. So yeah, I would say that if you have these earbuds and you are experiencing that noise, just turn off the noise reduction. It's not like it's actually removing a lot of noise anyway. So yeah. Microphone quality, well, you can hear it for yourself. There are 2 mics on either earbud now, as opposed to 1 on the V2. So yeah, clarity is definitely improved over the previous gen. Moving on to the sound, it is, as always, very decent for the price. Creative makes some of the best budget earbuds and speakers that I have tried, and these are no different. They sound slightly more balanced than the V2, with mids that are no longer quite as recessed. The bass still has plenty of punch, but my one quibble is that the treble is still somewhat tapered down. But this is really my own personal preference because I prefer a brighter treble. With Super X5 turned on though, you get an immediate enlarging of the soundstage. Instruments get a bit more space between them, and yeah, it does make it feel a bit more like you're listening to music live. The one thing you might pick up on is that there does tend to get a sort of echoey feeling from time to time, which does detract from the listening experience. But for 89 Singapore dollars, can you really complain? Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Creative Outlier Air V3. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to us and like this video. Till next one, see you guys!